Welcome to Microsoft Build 2017. I'm Mehmet Erkulic, Program Manager on the Xbox Live team, and today I'm very excited to talk to you about the Xbox Live Creators Program. This is a new open program that allows any developer to build Xbox Live-enabled UWP games for Xbox One and Windows 10. Now, what do I mean when I say open? Because this is a new concept in terms of console game development. There are no additional Xbox requirements to get on the console. Our standard store policies apply. You don't have to sign any additional licensing agreements. There are no NDAs involved. The only agreement you sign is the one you do when you sign up for a Windows Dev Center account. And we worked very hard to make sure that configuring your game for Xbox Live, Xbox One, and Windows 10 as easy as possible, so you spent more of your time building your game and less in the configuration. And a part of this is self-publishing. When you're done with your game and you want to release it, you just do so. When you want to push out an update, you do that on your own time. Certification is fast and very simple. And the Xbox Live features we've included in the Creators Program are suited for your game such that it's easy to integrate into your game while also giving you the maximum reach to your customers. And I want to spend a moment to talk about the developer opportunities and reach here. Today, we have more than 400 million Windows 10 devices. And to reach all of these devices, you have to publish once to the Windows Store. The Windows Store allows you to, with a single publish, to reach the entire Windows ecosystem. And with the Creators Program, you can now publish to the console as well. You can build, publish, and sell your UWPs on Xbox One. Xbox Live, on the other hand, has 55 million engaged gamers. Now, these aren't 55 million people who've created an Xbox Live account. They're 55 million people who sign into the system every month and actively engage. By integrating Xbox Live, you get the identity of your player, and then by using our APIs, you can build rich shared experiences amongst your audience. Now, you've sold your game, you've reached your customer. How do you keep them in your game? How do you keep them playing? How do you keep them coming back? And the Creators Program provides great tools to do these. And a great way to do this is video. So Game DVR is a feature whereby players can record their gaming moments and share them on the Xbox Live network. Personally, one of the things I do when I'm looking for a new game is to look at game clips and see what my friends have shared about this game. So this is a great way to discover games. And Beam live streaming, which is now integrated into every Windows 10 PC and Xbox One, allows players to stream their gaming moments. And with interactivity, you can take that to the next level. Xbox Live was built for a wide variety of games. It's been around for a while, and it has a very rich feature set. The couple things I want to highlight here are leaderboards and stats. By using stats, you can keep track of your players' progress and then use those to build leaderboards to build out a healthy competition between your audience, even for single-player games. And with connected storage, you can allow play, pause, resume scenarios such that a player can start on one Windows 10 device and continue on another exactly where they left off. And finally, I want to talk about community features. By Xbox Live enabling your game, you get a Game Hub on Xbox Live. Now, you can think of Game Hub as the landing page for your game. This is where players go to check your game out. It is managed by you. And Xbox Live Clubs, which is a new and very popular feature, allows gamers to create communities around your game. Now, we've taken a look at these great features. Let's switch gears and check out how we can implement these into our game. Now, I'm going to start off by going to Dev Center. And for those of you who have built UWP games, you're going to be familiar with this UI. Now, on the left-hand side, under the Services section, you'll see an Xbox Live option appear. When you click this, the first time you click it, it's going to show you an Enable experience. And what this does is it sets up a corresponding configuration for your game inside of our services so that when you make calls out to us, we recognize your game. Don't worry, you can undo this if you would like to ship without it. But once you've completed the enable step, you will land on this page. And a couple of things I want to highlight here are the stats and leaderboards features and our testing section. So I have gone ahead and created a leaderboard here. It is to track the high score of our players. I'll take a note of the ID here right now because this is what we're going to use in our game code. And it's based off of integers, and it sorts high to low. You can create more in this view. And while our game is in development, you'll be testing against your own environment. You won't be testing in the same environment that published games are in. And that's exactly what the test feature does. When you hit test, the leaderboard you've configured here is published to a private testing environment that only you and the accounts you give can access. And you can give more accounts access through the Authorized Xbox Live Accounts link right here. By default, we pull your Dev Center account, and that account has access to your testing environment, which we call a sandbox. And here is our identifier, which we'll use in our game code as well. So I've already configured a leaderboard here, and I've already hit test. So this is live within our own testing environment. Let's jump straight into the game. What I have here is Space Shooter. It is a tutorial game provided by Unity. It's available on the Asset Store, which is exactly what I've done. It's fresh off the Asset Store. We've done nothing with it. And we're going to add Creators Program features to it. So I'm going to start off by heading over to Assets and importing the Xbox Live plugin. You can grab this plugin off of the Microsoft GitHub page. And what this provides is an easy way to integrate all of these features inside the Unity engine. Now it's importing all the tools I need. And one of the features that I'm going to use today is prefabs, which allows us to quickly get running by using pre-made modules to use Xbox Live features. Now, I've imported this into my game. The first thing I'm going to do is create a canvas so that we can have our UI elements in it. Let's call this canvas Xbox Live. And the first thing I want to do here under the Xbox Live prefab section is grab a user profile. Now, this is the first building block of Xbox Live. By dragging this into our game, we now enable the sign-in experience. We now have our users signing in so we can keep track of their progress, and we can light up all the great features. And let's do just that. So let's keep track of the user's high score within our game. To do so, I am going to grab an integer stat and add it to my game. And let's call this high score. And to display this stat, I am going to grab a stat panel and drop it into my game view. Let's put this down a little bit. And then in our stat panel, I'm going to associate the integer stat I just created with it so that it displays it. So we're now displaying a stat, but we're not exactly updating the stat. To do so, I need to head over to my game controller and make sure that as my score is getting calculated, I'm also updating the stat as my player hits a new high score. So within our game code, we are going to create a new public integer stat for high score. And let's go to our score logic right here where we're calculating our new score. I'm going to see if I can. Let's do a simple if statement. If our score is greater than our high score stat, we're going to set our high score stat to our score. And that's it. We're now saving our users' progress in the cloud on Xbox Live. So wherever our players are, when they play the game, they're going to see their high score, and we'll be saving it on our side. Now that we have the high score here, we need to make sure that we grab the integer stat and reference it. And then one last thing I'm going to add is I want to create some competition between my players. So by using this high score stat and the high score leaderboard that we just walked over in Dev Center, I'm going to create a leaderboard. Let's grab the leaderboard prefab and drop it here. It is important to note these prefabs are here for guidance. They're not exactly UI you should ship with. You should play around with this and make it fit well into your game. I'm going to move this a little out of the way. When we go full screen, this should be out of the way of our game view. And with that, let's run all of this locally in our engine by hitting play. So if I can sign in, and when I shoot asteroids, I can see that my high score is getting updated. When I refresh my leaderboard, once the user signed in, it pulls down leaderboard information. So one thing to note here is this is all running locally. It's not making calls out to the Xbox Live service. So it's using local data, and with that local data, it allows you to quickly test and ensure that your game is integrated well. And once you build, you will start running against production services. Now, when we hit refresh, I see that I missed something here. It's not showing up the leaderboard. That's because our leaderboard needs to be associated with the stat we just created. So let's drag the integer stat here. And we have configured it. So I'm going to check this checkbox, and let's hit run to see if we're good. So once the user is signed in, if I hit refresh, I'll get fake data from locally, and I can see that everything is integrated well. Now, before I build my game, one last step is to make sure my game here is associated with the correct Xbox Live cloud configuration. So we're going to head over to Xbox Live option up here and go into the configuration experience. And we're just going to kick off the association wizard. Now, what this does is it associates your Unity game with your Xbox Live configuration that you just enabled inside of Dev Center. So this is going to ask you to sign in with your Dev Center account. I'm going to do just that here. And it's going to pull down all the apps in your account. We're going to select the game we were looking at. It's going to check the application configuration. So it tells me that it's Xbox Live enabled. If it weren't, it would have walked me through the Xbox Live enabled process. So if you haven't done that on Dev Center, it'll make sure you go through that before you associate. So you click Continue, you can see all of our identifiers are pulled down, and our sandbox is pulled down as well. So let's hit Finish. And in the configuration experience, one last feature I want to call out is the developer mode feature. So I've already enabled this by clicking the button here. And what it does is it switches my local machine so that it points to my private testing environment. When you're done testing your game, make sure you hit switch back to retail mode down here if you want to play Xbox Live enabled games through the store. So if you're playing Gears of War 4 or Forza Horizon 3, make sure you switch back to retail mode, else these games will not work in your own environment. So with that done, let's go ahead and build. Let's add our open scene. One important item here to call out is you'll notice there's an Xbox One option. Now, that is for the ID at Xbox program. We're publishing your game to the Windows Store as a UWP. So make sure you select the Windows Store option. We're targeting Universal 10. And that's about it. So let's hit Build and Run, select our Builds folder, and build our game. So our game is now up and running. And right here, I'm going to hit sign in to sign in to Xbox Live. So you can see it pulled down my gamer tag from the service. You can see that my high score is 240 because I played this game before with this account. So if I refresh my leaderboard, I'll also see that I have my 240 high score reflected, and one of my colleagues that have played the game is on the leaderboard. Now, I've done this demo multiple times, so I don't think we're going to beat 240 right here. So let's exit out of this. And there you go. We have now integrated Creators Program features into our game. Today we used Unity to integrate our game, but we have direct integration with a number of games: Construct 2, Monogame, Unity, and Zenko, and more are coming. In addition to game engine integration, we have our Xbox Live SDK with APIs, samples, tools, and docs available for ISO C++ and Mono C#. And the way you would integrate all of this and manage your configuration is through Windows Dev Center. If you want to get started, you can join our preview at aka.ms Xbox Live Creators Insider Program. Now, we are launching this summer, so we're in preview right now, but this is not an application-based preview. It's a first-come, first-served, capacity-managed program, so feel free to apply. We're looking for passionate people, passionate developers who will help us grow this program. And if you want to learn more and grab resources to help you get started, head over to developer.microsoft.com. And if you want to get even more involved, the entire Xbox Live Creators program is open source. Our APIs, our tools, and even the plugin you just saw is available on the Microsoft GitHub page. We've also set up a user voice page. And this is not a consumer user voice. This is a developer user voice. So head over there and promote ideas that you would like to see. Add your own ideas that you'd like added to the Xbox Live Creators program. We love hearing from you, so please head over there and engage. And if you want to join us more directly, submit your own pull requests. So today, in about 10 minutes, we started off with a basic game. We Xbox Live enabled it. We added a user sign-in, so we got the player's profile. We built a stat to keep track of their high score. We then built a leaderboard off of that high score to create competition in our game. And then we tested in-engine. We deployed locally to test with production live services. And all of this was in just 10 minutes. We've worked very hard to make sure that the Creators program is very easy to integrate into your game. And we look forward to seeing and playing all of the great games you'll create. Thank you.